Hello, everybody. It is Sunday, November 8th, and it's a great day. And hi, Sonia. Hello, everybody. And happy new beginnings. Happy time of let's begin to the healing. And I'm going to go ahead and talk about the elephant in the room because we're all thinking about it one way or another. And I've had some good conversations with people since Joe Biden was declared the winner. And I have a few thoughts I'd like to share with you. You are all welcome here, no matter who you supported for president, because in this country, you're supposed to be allowed to have your own opinions and to share them. But I want to tell you something from my heart, because it seems like for the last number of years, only one side has been shouting from the rooftops their opinions. And there's been what I feel, I have felt a certain discouragement from voicing anything contrary, whether it's just correcting the truth, correcting facts to get the truth, or sharing your own opinions. And I have felt bullied into silence. I have tried here and there to share my feelings, just in case there were others of you out there who felt like they couldn't express their opinions. But it's definitely been a bully pulpit coming from one of our cable channels that's been promoting the powers that be. And I just thought, you know what? Now that Biden's been chosen as president-elect, that we want to invite the other side to share their feelings, but it has to be a sharing. It has to be where you listen to us too. You can't just shout us down. You can't just vilify us. And I am a very proud liberal Democrat, and I have been afraid to say that. And I should never be afraid of who I am. I don't think any less of you if you're a proud conservative Republican. So I need to be allowed to be who I am. And the reason I got thinking about this is I had a good conversation with someone from another country. And since they only saw one side being shown on TV, on the news, they thought maybe we all believed the same way. And I said, you know what? We did the wrong thing. We caved into the pressure to be silent. And that's not a good thing. We should never be silent, no matter what side of the aisle you're on. So it made sense when the announcement was made yesterday, and spontaneously thousands and thousands of people made their way out to the streets and created a huge celebration in cities from San Francisco to Philadelphia to New York City to Washington, D.C. And I'm hoping to go with my daughter and granddaughter and find a celebration not too far from us. Because you know what? We all of a sudden felt like we were free. We hadn't realized how afraid and submissive we were made to feel. And when we could finally show our excitement, it felt wonderful. And it was a good reminder that politics come and go, but Americans need to be more united. We cannot allow anyone to divide us into factions that hated each other. And it's just not right. So I'm here today to celebrate being able to feel like I matter again and my opinion is valid. It might not be your opinion. Your opinion's not my opinion. But the thing about America that I used to be so proud of is that there was room for all of our opinions. And the last few years, it was so, I've heard it called tribal, but it was an ugly, ugly thing. And if you weren't right, you were not just wrong, you were bad. So I'm hoping, I put a huge sign out in front of my house that said, "Let the healing begin." Because I don't like this huge divide in our country right now. And I think it makes us less of an America. It really, really does. So I saw a wonderful cartoon that showed Joe Biden putting the head back on Lady Liberty. And I love what he has said, whether I would have voted for him or not. And I did. I loved what he said, that we need to be Americans now, not red, not blue, Americans. So I am celebrating today, but I'm also hoping you'll celebrate with us that this is the first big challenge we have had to our way of government, our system of government, and at least this century, and last century. But we came through it. We did a test, and more people came out to vote than ever. And maybe this was a good thing in the way that it woke everyone up and made us realize, in America, if you want our form of government to last, you have to take part. You can't sit and just give your opinions. You have to put yourself out there and vote. So I welcome everyone. You are always welcome here. You will not be thrown off if you feel differently, but this is a place of peace and love. That's who I am. My nickname is Kumbaya Deb, and I'm proud of it. So this is a place of love and acceptance, and we will love and accept you, and hope that you'll love and accept us for who we are. So I am thrilled to have you here. I'm thrilled to see if we can get this coronavirus under, we had under some kind of control. We had 3 days of record cases, over 120,000 cases. So let's all roll our sleeves up and work together, wear masks, be careful, social distance. I will not be having holidays with any of my kids. I'm sad about that, but I don't want to die. I don't want anyone else to die. So let's work together. We're Americans, and let's celebrate our similarities, our shared things, and let's celebrate our differences, because that's what makes this soup experiment of a government so tasty, so amazing. So congratulations to everyone. Let's move forward, and let's get back to creating and loving our life. As someone who's just survived I don't know how to describe it. I didn't battle cancer. I had cancer, and I'm so far surviving it. So it's not really a battle. But boy, does something like that bring what's important to light. And what is important is the things we share, not the things that make us different. And you know what? We're burning daylight. There is a lot of creating that we need to do. We all work so hard. And so let's feed our soul. We We have voted. We've paid our bills. We're trying to be the best people we know how. So let's have some fun and let's celebrate this life. Okay? So it is so good to see everyone. Oh, Stone Soup. You know, that is my favorite parable. And for those of you who might not be aware of that, it's where a man comes into this town and everyone's very hungry. There's very little. It's a time of famine. And he gets a pot and builds a fire and puts the pot over the fire and pours water in the pot. And people are in their little huts and they're watching him. And then he goes and he drops a stone into the pot. And they said, "What is he making with a stone?" And they slowly came out and said, "What are you making with the stone?" He said, "Stone soup." He said, "This is all I have to add. But you know, if we all added one thing, we could all feed ourselves." And so slowly but surely, people came and dropped in a potato, a carrot, maybe a little piece of meat. Whatever they had, they dropped in. And before you knew it, they had a huge pot of soup that they all sat and ate from. So it's just a wonderful parable to show that what we all bring to the table is very satisfying, nurturing, and much appreciated. So to me, that is a wonderful parable of life. Thank you, Nadine. Oh, you heard Mark's bike. I'm tickled. Yes. I told him, I said, you know, we're really lucky today. It's in the low 70s. And I said, you know what? A bike ride would be so good for you. We're stuck in this house all the time. So thank you. And I did not want to in any way be lecturing anybody, but I thought I try to be very real with you. I can't be real if I try to hide my joy. I had the best night's sleep last night because I said, maybe the level of anger and hatred in this country can finally come down. Maybe we don't have to be so afraid. And so Mark and I put a flag. Do you know the last time? I can't remember the last time I put up an American flag, because that flag has been used to hurt people. And just like wearing a mask or not has been used to hurt people, or wearing a red hat or not has been used to hurt people. And so we put out our flag. I put out my little rainbow flag that said, we believe in science, we believe in kindness, we believe that Black Lives Matter, we believe all things positive and loving. We've got that flag out there. We put blue lights all around the front porch, and I made a huge sign that said, "Let the healing begin." And I hope that will be of comfort to someone, because it's time to celebrate again. It's time to be happy again. So, in fact, yesterday, I don't know if any of you, Steve, what's his name? Rick Steves. He's the famous traveler, and he does a show on the public television station. And he had a really wonderful show yesterday, a cautionary tale of what can happen in a country when the ideology becomes too fervent, too dividing, too hurtful. And it was amazing to watch. And I feel very lucky that our form of government, humble as it is, still in its infancy, it worked. And we made it work. So wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right. Now, today, I got so much to talk to you about. I feel like I've had all these pent up thoughts I've wanted to share with you. But the good news is tomorrow is the 6th week since I had my surgery, which means I'm no longer wearing the belt. Now it's just my tum-tum, and I can actually rub my tum-tum. And yeah, there's a funny scar 12 inches down my tummy. And I mean 12 inches down my tummy. But it doesn't look so bad. And it's just another sign of survival. So I am happy about that. And I actually kind of pretended to do a little running in the house, and it felt good. And I'm sleeping on my side, and it feels good. And my energy level is coming back. I'm starting to gently lift a little more than 5 pounds, but I want to be normal again. And in some ways I am. My appetite is back, and so my scale has bumped up a couple pounds, but I'm trying to be calm. This was the healing time. And starting tomorrow, I'm going to start exercising on my elliptical trainer again. And as long as it doesn't hurt, I think I'm good. I'll start slow and work my way back up. But anyway, it feels good to feel good. It feels good to move around, to do my household chores again. I never realized how much I missed cleaning the kitchen. But anyway, but life is good. I hope all of you are well. We've got to keep Kathleen, is it Kathleen? Out in the Northwest, keep her in our thoughts. Today, just give a little thought for Susan Smith, please. She's not going to be here again today. Last week was her father-in-law's birthday, and he had just passed. So that was a rough day for her. And today, her brother-in-law's coming to see her because it's been 1 year since she lost her sister. So we're thinking of Susan today, and we miss her. You know that. But I'm glad family comes first. I always say that. Family comes first. So, oh, yeah, Kathy Klein slept good, too. That's wonderful. Oh, thank you, Nadine. You're so cute. That's wonderful. Hello, Michelle. I had a little email with Michelle. And, oh, hi, Betty Middleton. Fantastic. So anyway, it's been a nail-biting week, but a very good week. And let's hope we've got good times to come. I'm thrilled that Joe Biden is already meeting with scientists, medical experts, and pulling together a 12-member COVID team. So let's all try to help him the best to see what we can do about this. I've got a grandson who's 2 months old. I haven't seen my other grandson for 11 months. And I've got one that's 2.5 months old, and I've yet to see him. So I know that you all have your same stories. We're not able to see our grandchildren, our own children. And, you know, our children have ups and downs in their life, and we're not able to share it with them. So, you know, this is really, really hard. But we've got somebody who said, we're hitting the ground day one. We're going to handle this pandemic. So yay, everybody. And so be really careful. Hang in there. And Nadine, it's so nice to be able to share with you and the other friend from England who I've been talking to. And it's just good to not have that fear hanging over your head. And that's what I saw in the streets yesterday. So it's a good thing. Well, you probably wonder, well, if she's feeling better, what has she been doing? Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm still addicted to these paper beads. People, one of y'all has got to come in here and rescue me because Mark brings in the mail. I'm making more paper beads. I tell you the truth. This is getting ridiculous. This bag, look at it. It's chock-a-block full. And it's probably about 7-8 pounds worth of paper beads. So, isn't that the funniest thing? But it's every night. That's what I want to do. I want to sit and watch TV and make paper beads. And if a piece of mail comes in and it's got a pretty color, I'll show you this ad. There was an ad that had orange, but the paper was a little thin, so I glued it to a piece of junk mail. So then I had enough weight to roll it in a paper bead because you don't get many orange beads. So anyway, I'm a mess. Girls, I tell you the truth, I better start something else because this is not my only bag of paper beads. I have at least 2 or 3 other bags that would equal this that I've made in the last couple years. So I think it's time to move to the next step. Find something to do with them. So I had to bring this down and show you because I said the ladies are going to just, you know what? Yep, somebody mentioned to make, what do you call it? Like garland with them. And let me see, Marcia had a great idea. She said, make them gold to hang on the tree. I thought, you know what? Make them out of what paper they come, whatever they come in. Then get a can of spray paint and spray paint them. Like if I did it for my tree, it would be a nice, beautiful, vivid blue because I'm still in my blue and silver stage. And so just get a little cheap can of spray paint and paint them a beautiful blue. That might be a great idea. So, and the nice thing is it's something that's, the only thing it cost me is a little bit of white glue. How many things are that cheap? So, do you remember last week, I was working on something I saw in a magazine that looked really cool. I'm going to tell you girls, there are certain things I can't do to save myself. This is what I did last week, and I worked so hard on this, and this is what I came up with. Not worth the time and the effort. Honestly, that's not so pretty. I have no clue. It'd be great for an ugly fabric challenge. So, let me tell you the rest of the story. So this week, I thought, I'm going to get this done ahead of time so I can really show them something. I'm excited to show them something because the resist that I used on this to make the pattern was Blue Dawn dish soap. Okay, cool. People have dish soap at home. So, and it did work in some areas. So I got a bigger piece of fabric. I had it stretched on a foam core board, and I did this complex pattern. I don't know if you remember seeing of sprays of little leaves. And Nadine and I talked about, maybe you can like dye it gold and maybe make the leaves green or something like that, right? And so and there was even a part of it where I put too much of the Dawn soap and it ran. So I carefully rinsed that part, dried it, redid it, had the whole thing marked perfectly, let it dry, put it in some dye. Nothing happened. Soap did not make a pattern. I don't know why. I guess I swished it around a little bit. And then the dye rinsed out because I used those little, I brought it, but they're over there. I used the little Dynaflow dyes. And it all rinsed out. So I ended up with a piece of white fabric again. Now, I don't give up that easily. And I have worked on this and thought, I've got to have something to show my gals. So I took that white fabric, I rinsed it, hung it out on my tomato cage, let it dry, brought it in and said, aha, I remember using gel glue. I remember using this gel glue as a resist, and it worked okay. So, yesterday, I took and did a new pattern. Maybe I started it the night before. Yeah, I think I started the night before and then was going to finish it yesterday. And this time it was even prettier. I did these sprays. And then since I was able to use this, I did like an open leaf, just an outline of a leaf. And it looked like sprays of leaf feathery things all over it with tasteful little dots in the empty spaces. The whole thing, this whole thing covered in that beautiful pattern. I let it dry overnight with a fan blowing on it. Got up this morning, put it in a dye bath of Procyon dyes. Not the Dynaflow, not Ritz, not food coloring, Procyon dye. This is what came out. Nothing but a ucky color, because I put yellow and then I put a little bit of chocolate brown, and because I wanted a kind of a rich golden, and it kind of looked like it was not the right color, so I added a little bit more dye. So I ended up getting this flesh tone. I don't know, but if you will notice, there's not one single design left on that. I guess when I switched it around, swished it in a bucket with the dye, it washed the glue out. I spent, 8 hours yesterday. Last week when I did that one, I spent at least that amount of time. And this is all I've got to show for it. So I've got some good words of wisdom for you all. If you're like me, do your fabric dyeing with your debit card. Find the fabric you like at a shop or online and buy it. I figured I can use it for portrait quilts, but that is not worth 8 hours and over a half a bottle of glue. I mean, this glue is down to here now. So that's not worth it. 8 hours and 2/3 of a bottle of glue to get that. So anyway, yeah, it's a perfect skin color. We're good at making making lemon out of lemonade, or making lemonade out of squished lemons. But I just thought I would show. I always tell you the truth if something works or doesn't. And I hung in there with this project. I tried, ladies. Something I don't know. I'm missing something. And maybe when you use this as a resist, you have to just leave it, lay it, and squirt the dye on and don't touch it. Because if you swish it in the dye because you want a good, rich, even color, the glue washes out. So that's that. So then I said, okay, I'm tired of making, I actually had a moment where I was tired of making paper beads. So I said, what do I have that I can work on? Well, this is a Jenny Beyer kit that I got a couple years ago. And when I was looking around and what's in this bag and what's in that bag, I said, yeah, I think you're right, Cheryl. I should have had it laid there and just painted the dye on and just squirted the dye on, not even touched it. But I have this beautiful, it's a Jenny Beyer table runner. Isn't that lovely? And so I said, well, let me do the applique by hand. That's something I can do and sit here and work on that. And it's so funny. I made this maybe 2 years ago, and I don't really remember doing it. Isn't that odd? But anyway, one thing I did about all of these, this is a layering of all these applique pieces, is I must have put them on a fusible so that they could then stick to each other, but it makes the edges so stiff. So if I ever do that again, I love needle turn applique. And so it is tough to sew through that. But I've been working Yes, I love Jenny Beyer. And you know what? When you see it, you recognize it, don't you? But now you wait. I tell you what, Miss Nadine and Miss Diana Wright love Edita Sitar. And I am starting. I mean, her blues, woo! So I'm starting to kind of inch up to that line where I might just have to get myself some Edita Sitar fabric. So one of the things that's holding me back is her patterns. So complicated. There are so many pieces to them. So I have to get really brave. But this week coming up, I want to get together our COVID quilt. So I love this thing. You can see, do you see back there the one row that I've got done? And so this is one of the things I'll be working on this week. Now, let me grab one more thing and I'll be right back. Okay, here we go. All right. Oops, I dropped some fabric on the floor. Thank goodness I'm a monkey and I can pick it up with my toes. My mother used to get mad because I'd be in the kitchen and I would close the cabinet with my toes. But you know what? When I had this surgery, it helped me. I don't know how many times I dropped stuff on the floor and I could pick them up with my toes. So, okay. And Nadine won a gift certificate, which she has very good luck. If you live out of the country, Missouri Star Quilts has been so good to her about shipping internationally. And so she asked me, could her gift certificate be through Missouri Star? And if you're within the country, I love my pineapple fabrics. But since we're over 2,000 subscribers, we had a gift certificate and we're thrilled that Nadine won the drawing. So also I put a photo up on our website where Linda McCollum showed the final photo of the project she was working on. And so I had to just list the photo because I saved the tutorial as a PDF and I can't figure out how to add to it because PDF locks it so nobody can add to it. But I saved it as a PDF so that way if I put it on the site, anybody could open it. You didn't just have to have Microsoft Word. So I'm sorry about that, but if you saved it, save that photo too. So, she's working on her shopping basket. That's great. I tell you what, Edita Sitar, her quilts are beautiful. Alaska, her fabric is beautiful. So, but that's another thing too. When I was trying so hard to make my own fabric, I kind of went, you know what? Some people have the gift, the talent, the skill. I don't. I always thought, it'd be so wonderful to make hand-dyed fabrics and sell them. You've really got to know what you're doing, take classes on it or something, because mine never turns out the way that the Ricky Kim's fabric does, or there's another woman that I took a lecture from about dyeing fabric, and she is amazing. But anyway, there are people like me who should support the fabric industry and buy mine. So speaking of buying mine, you know that I cashed in my gift certificates and got some fabric. And that brings me to another topic I wanted to talk to you about. Have you ever noticed that the ladies who are so good at finishing a project before they start another one, how they make us feel like we're failures, that we're kind of lazy or shiftless? Because every time I used to be in a group and every time somebody would talk about, I've got to finish this before I start another one. And I would think, how do you have that much self-control? So after taking this almost 6 weeks off with my surgery, and it was even before then, because from the time that I had my first ultrasound and found that there was a tumor on my kidney, I could barely eat. I could barely think of nothing else. Cancer was a diagnosis that terrified me. And it was something that I had a real phobia of in my 20s and 30s. And here it was. And if I could only go back then and say, hey, but you don't have to worry about it until your 60s, I could have relaxed until now. But anyway, so really it's been like over 2 months of fear, living in fear, and with discomfort and the whole thing. Well, I've lost my mojo, ladies. And I heard Alex Anderson talk about mojo, and Ricky Timms talk about mojo. And gosh, I've been loving Alex Anderson's classes she's doing online on YouTube for free. Oh, what a dear heart. And she's funny. I've met her several times, but I just love her sense of humor and her her wit is just hilarious. But anyway, I've been sitting here the last couple weeks since I started doing live streams again, and I've just had a hard time getting motivated to do anything. It's like there's a little bit of a desire, but when I actually think of tackling a project, I freeze up. I know I've got 25 to 50 UFOs in this room. And I know I've got some that I've been working on in the last 4 months, but I can't face them. Does that make any sense? I don't know. I'd rather go make paper beads. So I got this new fabric in. And I haven't bought fabric much lately. Not going to shops, and then with the health issues, I've been a little cautious, okay? And not knowing what my medical bills were going to be, all of that. But anyway, I'm just like, I told Mark yesterday, I don't know what to talk to the ladies about. And I feel like, there's a gobs of ideas out there of things to do with you and to talk about with you. But I'm having a real problem. And I've lost my mojo. I've lost my creativity. I've lost that spark that gets us to dream of things and want to do it so badly and create, and that excitement, that zest. And I think for too long, for 2 months, I was thinking about surviving. And so surviving and creativity are two different things. People talk about, that's why we get so excited when we see the cave drawings in caves in France and anywhere, because it's the point in which man was able to provide for his daily life and have a little time left over for creative thoughts and actions. And so you have to get to the point where you're past survival, and that's when art and creativity blossoms. And it's been that way throughout history. So I got excited thinking about this fabric. And I love it because it's got metallic gold all in it. You know me in the bling. I love my bling. Look at this sweet fabric. Isn't that amazing? So I got thinking about that fabric, and I got thinking, you know what? That fabric would be wonderful for an Art Deco quilt. Well, then I got excited. Then I started looking up all kinds of Art Deco images, Art Deco quilt patterns, Art Deco stained glass patterns, anything that would spark my interest in making a new quilt. But then I said, like we so often say, you passed your EKG. Okay, All right. All right. So you wait until February. Good. Because Kathleen, we were worried about you, sweetheart. We were worried. So keep yourself safe until you get your test. In fact, I will have first week of February or the last week in January, I'll have another CT scan just to make sure that the cancer hadn't spread anywhere. So we'll be going through that at the same time, darling, and we'll celebrate together at the same time, okay? So, I got thinking more and more about this fabric and thinking, oh, I just want to cut into this fabric. I just want to, I want to touch it, feel it. I want to enjoy it. And I said, oh, but Deb, you need to finish one of these other projects. You really do. Well, that then sapped all my excitement. Just took it all away. Made me feel like I was a kid again that hadn't done her homework and wanted to play and knew she had that homework to do. So you know what I thought? I thought, wait a minute. Who is the boss of me? I pay my own bills. I clean my own house. Who is the boss of me? And who sets the rules? And if I don't like the rules, who's here to tell me I can't change them? There you go. I love it, Cheryl and Kathleen. I get to set the rules. I get to decide. So I like it. And you know what? If that's what it takes for me to get my mojo back, then that's what I'm going to do. So let's get ready and go look at some of your photos, and then I'll show you my stash of Art Deco patterns and images, and maybe you can help me find the ones that would make the best quilt with blues and golds and turquoises. Oh, I could use your help because this fabric, thank you, Miss Cheryl, and thank you, Miss Bonnie. This fabric, Cheryl with an S, this fabric is begging for a wonderful Art Deco print. And I've got a gold in the closet over there that I could use to, I noticed the ones I like best kind of look like stained glass, so that I could use a gold to outline each segment in it. So, yeah, that's a neat idea, Nadine. That's a neat idea. So I think that what I need more than anything is a change of pace, something new to light that fire of creativity. And you know what? The other quilts aren't going anywhere, and the fabric won't go bad. And so I'll get to it when I get to it. So I make my own rules around here. Yeah. So let's go see some photos. And because I've got some great ones from y'all to show you. And then I'll show you what I'm thinking about for this fabric. I feel like that I want to give this fabric a purpose, bring it to life. So let's go look at some photos here. All righty. Okay, I just went straight to the Art Deco folder. It was sitting there looking at me. So what I did is I just did a search and did it two different ways: Art Deco patterns and Art Deco quilt patterns. So let's see what we end up with. Come on. The first picture's always so slow to show up. Let's try it again. So I make a folder, and this one I listed as Art Deco. I love Art Deco. I absolutely adore Art Deco. And I used to love to watch Poirot, which is a detective show on PBS. and it was set during the Art Deco time period, and I just love it. So here were some symbols that have been used, and okay, and we shrink that down. Look at this. I love this. Isn't this pretty? I saw those blues and I went, oh my goodness. That's a lot of curves though. And look at this. I was able to download this. Okay, look at this. Is that amazing? I have to be able to follow through with any pattern I choose. And look, this is like a wonderful, fancy Art Deco braid. That would be gorgeous. And then I love this design right there. That is dramatic. And then here's this. You know, the Chrysler building was built during the Art Deco time. And so you kind of, it's like it's a little bit of industrial plus celebrating manufacturing and all of the amazing things we can do. And I'm sad because it was a brief, I feel like the Art Deco period was shorter than it should have been because the Depression came in and overwhelmed it. And when people can't eat, then it's hard to be excited about design. You know how I told you, survival first. But I thought these were great ideas for borders. I mean, this is amazing. So let me bring this back down. Whoops, back down. But these are some of the things that I found images of. And I try not to ever directly copy anything, especially if I don't know, unless it's a free to use. So many things have copyrights on them. But what I do is I collect certain ideas. But they were celebrating the invention of high-rise buildings, technology, and then design. Look at this. Wouldn't that be a wonderful border? So there's just so many things out there that can get your mind going. So I downloaded all of this. Now that is a little too busy for me. I couldn't handle doing all of that applique and all those curves. But it gives you an idea of they love the swag shape. Look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? There are so many beautiful, beautiful patterns. And what I'm going to want to do is to take ideas a little bit here, a little bit there, and get ideas and make my own design. And I will probably go into EQ8. Here are some more corner border designs. Look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? This is a wonderful idea for quilting on an Art Deco quilt. That's a wonderful quilting design. So these are quite extraordinary. Look at this. Wow. So, and here, look, all kinds of border ideas. So I use these to get my creativity going, and then I will create something. I'll take a little bit of this, that, and the other and make my own design. Isn't that pretty? But I've also decided that, you know what, life is precious and I'm going to sew. And I'm going to just keep on sewing. And this is someone who is working on their quilt design. I love that. It's nice to be able to see their notes and how they do it. That's pretty cool. I think that was my last one. Let me see. Yep, that was my last one. All right. So now let's go. Alexis has been busy. I saw that she had a new photo up, and it was in where it said 4-inch hoops. And so look at this that she's got going. So she's getting her ideas. She's got her sketching done. I love the fabric that that's on. That is so cool. In fact, that kind of looks Art Deco-ish. Her background fabric looks like Art Deco time period. That's cool. All right, let's see what else. B has, I showed you last week that she had a card made for her granddaughter. She made this card for a Christmas card for one of her friends. Look how beautiful that is. Isn't that wonderful? That's the Holy Family and child. And I just think that's exquisite. She's very talented. I said, you are truly a fiber artist. That is wonderful. And how much more is that going to mean? Because it was handmade. But is she talented or what? I mean, that's unbelievable. Then Miss Bonnie has been busy lately. And she has been working on her LaFleur blocks. They're gorgeous, Bonnie. Bonnie does beautiful work. Gorgeous. Okay. Let's see. Cheryl Lemon. Oh my gosh. I've got so much to show you here. I'll just start and do them like a slideshow. But look at this. She made this for a friend who bakes really good pies. Look how the pie crust is a 3-dimensional pie crust. Is that the coolest thing? I love it. And look how, the design, it's all sculpted. I got so tickled at this. I didn't even realize at first that the pie crust was 3-dimensional. How absolutely cool is that? Love Cheryl's sense of humor. I love her artistic, her sense of whimsy. I mean, gosh, look at this. Is that the coolest thing? I love the fabric she used on the pie crust rollers. I just love it. I love the checkerboard look of the background fabric she made. Oops, let me turn this one around. Okay, look at this cute cow quilt she made. Isn't that awesome? She is so good now at art quilting. It's a joy to look at her work. I just love this. Pardon me. I love when a quilt makes you smile. It makes you happy. So that's a beautiful job, Miss Cheryl. Look at that. Isn't that joyful? Then, let me see. Got to turn this one around too. Hold on. Look at this cross stitch she did. Isn't that beautiful? I mean, that is a lot of work. I said, you know what? I couldn't have done that. I can't concentrate long enough to do all those stitches. That's amazing. Beautiful job. Now, I'm going to show you another picture of it. Look at it now, all pressed and framed. How professional is that? Way to go, Miss Cheryl. And she's going to be giving this to her daughter. Her daughter's a lucky gal. That is just wonderful. Way to go, Miss Cheryl. I love y'all's pictures you send. Love them. Okay, I just have a few things to show y'all. My son and his wife sent me a picture and a text saying, how do we wash this? How do we clean this? And this is the new quilt I made for Donnie. And I said, luckily, I have already pre-washed it before I mailed it to you, so just put it in the wash machine. I said you could put it in with some towels to kind of cushion it, or you can do it on delicate, but it can just be machine washed. So that's cute. Oh, I saw this. This is from Dan DiPiolo. I'm not sure if I'm Paolo. I remember him from quilt shows where he just was the cutest artist and designer. And Dan Paolo. And oh my gosh, this is his latest fabric, and it's called Snarky Cats. And this is so cute. All I hear is treat, treat, blah, blah, treat. I mean, these are so cute. So if any of you like cats, I think I saw it in Bear Creek Quilting, but it's Dan, DIPAOLO, Snarky Cats. Type it in on your search engine and you will find it. And I thought this one was really a cute cartoon. It says, what if I told you I could give you something that would greatly prevent COVID-19? And the man below is saying, is it a vaccine, a miracle cure, a gift from heaven? And he holds down a mask. So wear your mask, people. Then, sorry, but this was just too cute to resist. I thought this was cute. And here is another of the Snarky Cats. This is the light background fabric. And that is just so cute. So they've got a light version, and this cat says, I do as I please. Don't they all? So if you're a cat lover, you've got that to look forward to. It's just coming out. All right. And let me see one quick little thing. And Susan put this up on the website, which I enjoyed tremendously. And that's just how I've been feeling lately. So wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so that's it for me. Let's go back. You know what? I do think I might have had some new baby photos. Yes, because I had a visit. I had an online chat visit with my son Monday. We did a Zoom meeting together. This is his wife, and this is Russell, and they're both lions. Isn't that cool? Although she might be a tiger. That's looking a little tigerish to me. But I love her makeup. They actually went across the street and did a little trick-or-treating. Okay. There she is with little Donnie, my newest grandson. And he's the little tiger. Isn't that precious? So cute. Okay. And here's my son holding Russell, and Nikki, his wife, holding Donnie, doing the trick-or-treating thing. Okay. Isn't that cute? I was so tickled they actually did trick-or-treating. That's wonderful. All right, let's see what else. Oh, I know, there was something else I wanted to show you there. Hold on, one more thing. I was talking to you last week about making the advent calendars for my grandchildren. And see how this one is done? I saved this photo because I'm going to want to put those little pockets on the front of the advent calendar to hold the treat. And then I'm going to want to put Velcro on the front of each one so they can take and put the right date up in the right space. So that's how I'm going to make a little pocket on the background. So, okay, just wanted to show you that. I saved that to remind myself. Now let's see what Miss Diane has been doing. She has been a busy lady. She discovered how to put a zipper in Minky. That is not cowhide. That is a Minky pretend. Isn't that cool? And boy, don't we love Minky. Minky is the most comfortable thing. Look up, there is the zipper right along the top. She knows that anytime you have this stuff on the furniture. Somebody is going to spill on it, and you have to be able to wash it. But isn't that great? I love that minky pattern. Here are some pear turnovers she made. And of course, she didn't send any to me, not a single one. Now, I understand it would be molded and inedible by the time it got to me, but hey. And so now here's her new living room with her new minky comfortable things and without the quilt frame in it. So she's done really well. All right. Now let's go look at her outside things because Marty was really busy this week. And look what he made. He made them a wonderful charcoal grill to use out by the pool, I'm assuming. He does his own welding. Here he is at work, working at that. And unfortunately, they had a failing septic tank. I thought, what are they making, a second pool? No, they're just getting a new septic tank. Bummer. But, you know, that's part of life, isn't it? All right, so now go back to Diana and let's see what she's been doing quilting. So, she's got her new frame set up in the room, and he made her a design wall to go in the room. And when he makes something, he gets it done and up. I mean, I'm impressed. And then this is a quilt she said she made 3 years ago. It's beautiful. Definitely looks like an Edita Sitar to me. And here's a customer quilt she's working on. Here is some Edita Sitar fabric, the stuff dreams are made of. And here is a beautiful quilt she's working on. Do you see all these pieces? Now, you know, Deb, I have a squirrel mentality. Oh, here's the quilt. This is the quilt she did 3 years ago. But I have a squirrel mentality. I don't know how in the world I could keep my attention through all the pieces. This is her quilt of valor she just finished. Beautiful work, Miss Diana. Beautiful. Okay, let's see who we're going to go to now. Jody. And this is just amazes me. Jody started about a month ago working on this. And she said, do you know who the artist is? It's like, oh yeah, that's a Van Gogh. And here it is. And let me see. She's doing all these little tiny pieces of fabric, trying to recreate his brush strokes. Is this just amazing? And here is her latest photo. She's working on the town in the mountains. But isn't that just amazing? I absolutely adore this. So talented. Y'all are some talented, talented people. I am so lucky that I get to hang out with y'all and I get to have your talent rub off on me. These are the ornaments that were made by Linda McCormick. And if you are don't belong to our group, but you would like her tutorial on how to make these, just send me an email at ourtimetoquilt@twc.com and I will email you her tutorial. Here is the finished piece. So look at the little hand stitching. This is called slow stitching, where you're just taking your time. You're using little bits and pieces of things you find in your junk drawer or your sewing basket and stitches, and you put them all together to create a one-of-a-kind work of art. So way to go, Miss Linda. We love it. Okay. So she's very talented, and I'm thrilled she's willing to share her talent with us. And this came from Marcia, and this is a beautiful log cabin. Love our log cabins. Okay. Let's see. And I think I've convinced Marcia to give paper bead making a try. So, and here's Pat Fry's beautiful birthday present. Love it, love it. And she said it's just in beautiful shape. So I'm tickled it's hers. And here's Miss Polly's beautiful curved quilt called Urban 9 Patch. And you can find that pattern online. She did an outstanding job. And as a new quilter, it blows my mind, I tell you. I had a hard time working on this and getting good results, and I've been quilting 30 years. But it's a lovely pattern, and it's worth the effort. Just beautiful. Okay. Now, Robin, I hope Robin will come back soon and show us her further progress on this. I just love how she's done all the layering of those three-dimensional petals. Just beautiful. You know, the sky's the limit anymore. And it is truly fiber art. And that means you can, use whatever fibers and art, whatever design you want to come up with. Here is the finished curved log cabin that Miss Sonia did. Absolutely gorgeous. I love that she has done all shades of blue from indigo to a light turquoise. That's what makes it pop. Beautiful, beautiful job. Okay, let's see the next. Look at this. Isn't that amazing? Look at, she did all the quilting. It's just beautiful, Sonia. Absolutely beautiful. And here's one of the blocks. It's absolutely perfect. I hope that no shading of pink shows up. If it does, I apologize. It's my camera. It's not her quilt. It's all the blues and white. All right. I think that will do it. So now I'll come back to y'all, get my camera set back up. And here we go. Let me turn my lamp back on. Whoa. Okay. So this week, I think I'll be working on designing an Art Deco quilt. And I'm hoping then in my free time, I will get to my frame and do the Halloween quilt that I've had on my frame since before my surgery. And I thought I would show you something else real quick. But aren't all of y'all y'all are so talented. In fact, Nadine, did you send me a new? No, I don't think you did. I think the last one I got from you, unless I've missed something, was the pillow for your sister. So now I'm going to show you this. Okay, I got this quilting catalog. It's always been pure eye candy. Okay, let me turn it around this way. And I was going to tell you, if you make paper beads, then a cover like this with all of this beautiful color is a wonderful candidate for bead making. But I wanted to also show, I look for all kinds of pictures. Like, let me see. I love making those necklaces where, in fact, like this, that you put a picture behind, underneath a glass cabochon. So I always look for things to put on that. Under the cabochon, like you cut out this bird right here. That would be beautiful. Or if you want to make one with ferns. I have found that what works best on those cabochons is bright, well-defined pictures. So let me see. But I go through this and I look for photos of things. Like, I don't know if I could get this fully under a cabochon, but these, some people like animal prints. Those would be pretty under a cabochon. Or the center of this. So I look at this. Yes, first I start out looking, is there a quilt kit or fabric I want? But then after that, I don't just throw it away. I then use it to look for things that I can make paper beads with, or that I can use to make necklaces. And sometimes a little bit of fabric will be pretty enough. And sometimes I look like one of these butterflies. The only problem with these butterflies is there's not a high contrast. Like I've used these before on the cabochon necklaces, and they just don't stand out. Doing one with this in the center would stand out a whole lot more. So I just thought I would show you that when you get these, shop first to see if there's something you want to buy. And then, like this back cover, well, the problem is it only has, isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Isn't that just beautiful? But the center of that would be beautiful in a cabochon. But the cover is nice, is the perfect weight for a paper bead, but unfortunately there's not enough color right there. But anyway, sometimes if I look in these catalogs, if I want to put a pair of scissors under a cabochon, then sometimes look in their notion pages. And if they have a small enough, like maybe an iron, if you wanted to do an iron under a cabochon, but sometimes having small pictures of notions or threads can be real pretty. Now, if you have someone that loves to play guitar, you could put a cabochon right there. But I often keep a cabochon near the catalog, and I can lay one over it and see if that's going to, this would show up really good. The problem is you have to make sure you pick a color somebody's going to want. So, but if there's a small enough picture of a quilt, sometimes they'll have small images of quilts, but cabochon would be real pretty over those wisteria blooms right there. Or lilac, I'm sorry, they're lilac blooms. So anyway, I just thought I'd show you that. And if I had enough color on a page, even though the inside pages are a little too thin, what I would do is take it out and glue it to a piece of junk mail, and that way it would give it the thickness that you would want. But some of these panels are just simply gorgeous. And if you ever wanted to practice your trapunto or your thread painting, then get one of these, buy a panel, and practice your thread painting on that. Wouldn't that be beautiful? Okay, so that's how, just thought I would just kind of look at this catalog with you a little bit and show you kind of how I look at certain things. But just know that unless it's like this, would look simply washed out and boring under a cabochon. So even though that's a whole page of a quilt, it wouldn't even make a good paper bead. So, because the bright colors are what people are drawn to. All right. Well, tell me what's going on with you guys. We're very, very lucky that we do have so many quilt shops, and the industry is so big. Oh yes, it was a bear. Good job. That is a bear paw or bear claw, either way you want to say it, in the center. You're very, very good. So, but we're very lucky. Nadine has to send away and wait for a good long time. And we're very lucky that quilting is a huge, thriving industry. And billions, it generates billions and billions of dollars in sales. So, all we're doing is trying to take good care of the economy, right? That's all we're doing. So, all right, guys. Oh, you have time off next week. Yay. I love that. I love how Nadine doesn't just have one vacation a year and the rest works. Well, what would y'all like to talk about? And today, the snack of the day, raisins, which are really good for your iron level for any perceived anemia. But I like them because they taste good. So tell me, we're so sensible. Yeah. But tell me what's going on with all of you. Oh, Pat's here. Hi, Pat. Oh, Golden Quilter's back. Yes, they do. And do you know Golden Quilter that Keepsake Quilting is now the sister company to Pineapple Fabrics. So we love them extra special because of that. So it is so good to see you. And Golden Quilter, we've seen you around now several times. So if you would like to join our Groups IO chat group, then we'd love to have you. So if you would, or if you would just like to send me photos of you, anybody who want to send me photos of your work that I can show on here, send me an email to ourtimetoquilt@twc.com. Ta-da! And I'll be glad to send you an invitation. So we have a good time. We share patterns. We talk about different things. And if I notice you've been on here a few times, then I like to extend the invitation. We used to have a Yahoo group, but Yahoo Groups is now closed. So it is so good to see everyone here. And take good care of yourselves. Mark and I've noticed that we're getting a little sniffly lately. And we said, well, we shouldn't be getting colds because we don't go anywhere. We're not exposed to anyone. But a good reminder for those of you like us who are staying home most of the time, pick a day and air out your house. And air it out as often as the weather will allow you to. Because honestly, indoor pollution can be worse than outdoor pollution. So one of the problems about staying inside too much is stale air. So cabin fever. Oh my gosh, yes. I never got to the mountains before that windstorm hit and knocked all the leaves off, but I'm still going to go even if the trees are empty. There's something about I've got to go to the mountains in the fall. It's just a rule, I think. Oh, you have your windows open today. Isn't that wonderful? Oh, what a good feeling, and it smells so good. And oh, I took this morning when I fed Kiwi, I put her on my shoulder and went out front and sat on the front porch. And we just sit, look around, enjoy the air, enjoy the beautiful blue sky. Oh, good for you, Cheryl. I need to air out my sewing room too. I need to clean it too. If I could show you that back counter back there, you'd be horrified. Yeah, luckily I keep Kiwi's wings trimmed because she'd be gone in a second. Let me tell you, that girl's got a mind of her own. So another little thing to tell you, you know how when you buy thread and it has a little label on the bottom? Always make sure you peel the label off before you use it on your machine. People like to leave a label because they feel like they need to know that color and, they'll remember what kind and what color. But I had a sewing machine repairman fuss at me years ago. He said he sees too many women just push and pop through the paper on the spool of thread. And he said the problem is it allows the glue from the label to stick to the thread, the thread stick. Oh gosh, what did you call that, Pat, when yours was bent? But the little spool holder, the glue from the label will build up gunk on the spool holder. Thank you, Nadine. Thank goodness we have Nadine from Germany to teach me English, because there are times I mean, it's gone. But anyway, guess who's home? The problem is the adhesive from the label will build up on your thread spool holder, and it'll cause it to, the thread, instead of spinning smoothly, it'll catch and it'll throw off your tension and your stitches. So always remove all hints of any label from any spools. So I love giving helpful hints because I learn so much from helpful hints. So yeah, because he fussed at me. He said my spool holder thing, it had a bunch of adhesive stuck all up and down it. He fussed at me. I don't like being fussed at. So, trying to think if there's anything else to talk about. What do y'all have any good advice you'd like to share? Oh, that's a great idea. Nadine, that's what people used to do in the colonial period, is take their bed stuffs and hang it out the window to air out. And I'm going to share this with you. I believe that it's not healthy to make your bed every day. I believe that you have to leave the bed as you get out of it, leave it as it is, because it has to air out. I do. I believe that. Also, I hate making a bed. But that's my big joke. It's like I tell my kids, I'm letting my bed air out, okay? Oh, that's so cute. Yes, yep. Spread the faith. Isn't that a beautiful saying? He had a good grandma, didn't he? So, anyway. Anybody else? Some more. We got to spread the faith. Take paper off your thread spools. Air out the bed. See? I mean, hello. In fact, yesterday we washed our sheets, and Mark loves now adding a little bleach to it, because just that smell when you get into the bed at night, and it's not only fresh and clean, and it's got a little bit of fabric softener scent, and it's got a little touch of bleach scent. It's like heaven. Ah, that is so cute. Yeah. See, we can weed out what's necessary and not. There, we can handle this real easily. So, but y'all be thinking about me this week as I start back exercising. That should really help me develop my energy level, my stamina. I miss having my stamina. And it's coming back, though. I told Mark, I think back 3 weeks. What a difference. So thank goodness. We could save the world. We could make get everybody straightened away, couldn't we? And I'm a firm believer that pink flamingos hold the knowledge and happiness of the world. I love my pink flamingos. I started going to the Myrtle Beach quilt party, and they had pink flamingos, and then I started collecting them, and then people started giving them to me, and so that's cute. There you go. I agree. And again, got to air everything out. Let me tell you. Yeah. The pink flamingo. Yes. And my battery might be dead, but if you're lucky, your daughter will give you a pink flamingo bubble maker. And, life is pretty good if you have. I can feel air. Oh, I don't know if it's making bubbles. Come on. I'll have to put some new bubble solution in it. I think it's out of bubble. Look, there's a bubble. There we go. So, can you tell I'm very much in touch with my inner child? So, oh gosh. And then I have a friend like Bonnie who sends me a pink flamingo keychain. I tell you, ladies, life is good. You just got to enjoy it because it's fun. Oh, that's wonderful. Yes, Cheryl. Oh, that's wonderful. You know, it would be fun to figure out how to make some pink flamingo ornaments for the Christmas tree this year. Because I told Mark, even though we're not going to have any kids over this Christmas, I still want to get a tree and I want to decorate. Because I want to keep Christmas in my spirit. Maybe if I only get a small tree, but I'm going to have a Christmas tree and I'm going to decorate it. That's what I'll do. Next week, I'll get some ideas of fun and easy Christmas decorations we can work on. And we already know one, we can use our paper beads and spray paint them Christmas colors. Or you know what? We could put them on a toothpick and paint them with acrylic paint and let them dry. And you could get Christmas colors that way. So we've got that. That's an idea. But we'll find some more. I love looking through emails and getting ideas for Christmas ornaments. So that's one thing. I'll show you. A friend of mine made this for me a few years ago. And she got some of the small wooden spools and she wrapped it with this green fabric and hot glued them all together and with a ribbon, and I keep it right here. In fact, here's another one she made. Let me see if I can get this one down. Hold on. Come on. But she's so good at doing Christmas gifts. And then some ladies came to my retreat, and one's a potter, and she made this little clay ornament, glazed clay. Let me see. Here is the other that my friend made. She took those little wooden spools and painted snow on them and little buttons and painted little dots for buttons, and it's a little snowman. So I love that stuff. And as you notice, I keep it out all year long because we could all use a little Christmas all year long. So, and another idea is I'm going to try to make gifts for each of my kids this year. So maybe I better get thinking about that, and we can talk about that next week. That'll be next week's subject is and it'll be in honor of B. Hepworth, her making her own Christmas cards. And that's our next topic. All right. So I hope you will join me next week when it's going to be all about the holidays. And let's get thinking now, because honestly, for me, I probably should have started in July. So until next week, take good care of yourself and do something special just for you and get your ideas. Feel free to send me emails, pictures of good ideas for holiday crafts you can make, and we'll focus on getting ready for this Christmas. Because even if we can't get together with our families, we owe it to ourselves to have a Merry Christmas. So we'll do that. Thank you, everyone. You are the best. And have a good week. Wear those masks. I want you around. You're too important to me. Take good care. Bye-bye, guys. Have a great week. That's sweet, Nadine. Bye-bye. So good seeing you, Alexis. Way to go. See you, Cheryl. Bye-bye, everyone.